But I'll be on it always, always and ever.
Hey queens, welcome back to my queen cave. My name is Shelby, queen of the queen cave, and it definitely has been a minute. I was going through a move and then I broke my light that I used to film with, so everything was pushing me back a little bit. I'm definitely glad to be back on my recaps, and also I've been keeping up with the episodes as they've been going on, and everything is getting so juicy and so good, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Today we are recapping 90 Day Fiancé, The Single Life, Season 5, Episode 7, The Art of Meddling. So we start off with Sophie and Pedro, and Julia and Sophie are going off to Nicole's birthday party, and it's a long drive away, so they're gonna be gone for a few days. I thought it was extremely weird to find out that Liz was not invited to this because of the fallout or the blow up between her and Sophie hasn't talked to her. They haven't had any communications. And Sophie is like, well, Julia left her a message saying that we'd be gone for a few days. And I'm like, so what is Liz supposed to do while you guys are gone this whole time? Like, I'm sure Via has his own life and he has his own plans. She's supposed to just sit around and wait until you guys get back. I thought that was really fucked up. Like, yes, you guys are having some issues. You guys are at odds right now, but I didn't feel like that was justifiable to leave her out. That's why it's so hard to be in a friend group of 3, because it's so easy. It's so easy to leave someone out. And in this case, I just felt like it was so weird and off guard that Liz wasn't invited at all. But anyway, I digress. Sophie and Pedro are feeling a lot more relaxed around each other after they've had their conversation, and they're now on the same page. So they're just now trying to enjoy each other's company, get to know each other, and just have fun. So they start making their way over to Nicole's party, and Sophie's telling Pedro how nervous she is to meet his mom. And he doesn't make things any better for her, because he tells her if they don't like Sophie, he's gonna stop talking to her. And I was really confused as to why he would tell her that, because now it's like the added pressure is on her and she's now uncomfortable before she even arrives. So I was confused as to why he would say that. But also it does bring light to the fact of how involved his mom and his sister are in his love life specifically, which I think is weird and just overboard. But as they finally arrive to the location, right when they walk in and they do the initial greetings, Nicole is already starting to be messy. She goes to Sophie and she's like, "You're making Pedro suffer, and I just want to let you know how he's feeling." And I'm like, hello to you too, happy birthday, like what? I just like already knew things were gonna go south. So now we get over to Kim. She's with Jamal and they are waiting to meet up with Larry so Kim can finally tell him about the sister he knows nothing about. And Kim also knows nothing about her daughter. She doesn't know what her name is. She doesn't know who adopted her, because the adoption was a closed adoption. So we don't get much information about her, which I think is sad. It's like she's out there somewhere and Kim is trying to actively find her. And I don't know how that process is with children that are put up for adoption, and how those parents that put them up for adoption are able to find them. I just don't understand the whole process. But to know that she can just be anywhere and Kim could potentially like never ever meet her or see her is kind of sad. But Larry does give us a rundown on his journey to finding Kim, and he's just really eager to continue to build on the relationship that he has with Kim and Jamal. And this whole time, Kim of course is really emotional. She's like hyperventilating. She thinks that she's gonna have a heart attack because she's so anxious. You know, there's just so many emotions going on. So right now we put a pause on them. We'll check back in with them later. Next, so now we get over to Gino. And for some reason, he was able to convince Natalie to go visit him in Michigan, because he realized how much he really messed things up with her the last time he went to go visit her. And she, for some deranged, unhinged reason, convinced herself that she overreacted when she found out that Gino was still talking to other women, because they're not technically together. They're still, you know, they're in the talking stage, but they're not like exclusive. And I'm like, yes, but on the other hand, if he was serious about you, he would cut off all other people he was entertaining to seriously just focus on you and only you. So I'm not understanding why you continue to give Gino these passes and why you feel like he deserves any of them, but he's giving you so many reasons to run, and you continue to come back around anytime he gives you his little sob story for some reason. It's like, do you just feel bad for him? That's the reason why you keep giving him chances, or what? Because again, there's nothing appealing in my opinion on about Gino and why you find him so attractive to the point where you want to continue to let him play in your face. But I digress. Next, so Gino has this like waterfront date planned for him and Natalie, and he tells her at this point he's finally ready to let go of all the other women he's been entertaining so he can just focus all of his energy on building him and Natalie's relationship. And Natalie, for some reason, again, confused, she is over here happy to hear that. She's like, I think he's being serious and I just want us to focus on each other so we can build our relationship. And I'm like, girl, things could not be this desperate. Like, please let me know that there's other prospects like you could have considered. Like, I really want to know from her perspective, what is your reason for going after Gino, seeing how he is, seeing how his relationship was with Jasmine? Why are you giving him the time of day? I guess it doesn't matter because she's going to continue to do this for the rest of the episode, and there's more to come. Next, so getting back to Pedro and Sophie. Pedro finally introduces Sophie to his mom, and right off the bat, she's judgmental of Sophie. She basically calls her a bird brain, basic ass bitch, and she's not impressed. And I'm like, damn, like give her a chance at least. It's really just because of the work that Sophie's had done. I guess that's already like off-putting to her. But she must be real drunk or something because she tells Sophie that maybe she doesn't have the energy for Pedro that he has for her because she hasn't tasted his eggs and plantain. Yeah. What the fuck? Ew. Like, how embarrassing. How embarrassing as fuck. Your mom is on national television and she's over here talking about some you haven't tasted his eggs and plantains. Like, we know exactly what you're trying to say. You're not slick, and it's disgusting and it's embarrassing. And I felt so embarrassed for Pedro. Getting back over to Kim, and the moment finally comes where she spits it out and tells Larry about his sister, and she's in complete shambles. She's apologetic. She just really wants him to be understanding of the situation. Larry is really understanding when she does tell him. His mind is blown. He's trying to make sense of it all, but overall he's not angry with her, which I feel like she really needed because you can just tell how heavy of a weight this was on her shoulders. But I do hope that someday Kim is able to find her, get some information on her so they can reunite, so they can all be together at some point. But as of right now, that's where we leave off with Kim. We're gonna get on to the next person, who is Gino and Natalie. They meet up with Gino's uncle, and Gino and his uncle have gotten really close after Gino's dad passed away, so he really values his opinion and he's just trying to get a gauge on how he feels about Natalie. But then, like, out of nowhere, they start talking about kids, and Gino asked Natalie if she'd be open to having more kids like with him, and because right now she has 2 adult children already. She's like in her 50s, and you can tell just how uncomfortable she is the second that he even asked the question. And I'm so confused as to why he would even think to ask her this. It's like, you guys are out of the age range where kids really should be a topic, in my opinion. So she's like trying to play it off. She's trying not to make it awkward, but you can tell immediately it's a no. And I would say having kids with Gino should be an absolute no. But yeah, Gino now gets up to go to the bathroom, and that gives Natalie and his uncle some time to chit chat. And Gino's uncle gets a little emotional talking about how good of a person he is and how much he just wants him to be happy. And Natalie asks him if he thinks that Gino is still in love with Jasmine. And he says no, he doesn't think so. He thinks that he's over her and he's ready to move on and be with Natalie and X, Y, and Z. And I don't really know if that's really true based off of the fact that he still talks about her. He was talking about her earlier in the season. Just anytime he could like throw a dig at her, he goes back and forth with her on the internet. And I'm thinking, if you have 0 feelings for someone, you're not doing those things. So Natalie says in her confessional that Gino's changed. And I'm like, where? Based off of what? Based off of what his uncle says? Like, okay. And she's like, I believe that he's over Jasmine. And I'm like, again, off of what he said? Like, why are we going based off of what he's saying and that's it? That's all you're gonna go off of. She's like, I want to just focus on our relationship and keep building it, but I want to be cautious. And I'm just like, anyway, at this point, I don't see what we're even following them for. I feel like this whole thing is just a waste of time. I don't feel like she really wants to do, I don't understand it. I just don't have anything to say about it because I'm so confused. I'm so confused as to why this relationship is even a thing and why she's fighting so hard to like hold on to him. I don't get it. But anyway, next. So we get over to the final scene to Sophie and Pedro, and Sophie is still really uncomfortable at the party. And I was really surprised on how fluent she was in Spanish speaking to Pedro's mom. She tries to open up to Pedro's mom and she explains that she is trying to get to know Pedro. She wants to take things a little bit slower since she is still healing from her last relationship with Rob. And she does tell her that she is legally still married to Rob, which has Pedro's mom immediately judging Sophie. And she's telling her like, that's not good. You know, you shouldn't be doing that. And Sophie immediately can feel her judging her. She's irritated and she's about to crash out. And I'm like, why do you feel so comfortable telling Pedro's mom all of these things? Like, you already have the interaction you had with her earlier. That made you so uncomfortable and honestly offended. Why do you feel the need to open up to her and have her like you so bad, like already? You know, I don't understand why she felt the need to tell her all of that, because now you do open the door for her to judge you like she does to your face so hard, which was so unnecessary. And it's like, if you're going to say all that about Sophie, what does that say about Pedro? Hello? Because at this point, he's very clear in knowing that she is still married and he is still trying to, you know, have some sort of pursuing of a relationship of some sort. So it's like, are you going to get on him too? Or you're just going to call Sophie essentially like a hoe? Like, I don't understand what you're going for, but it just seems like their whole mission, like Pedro's mom and sister, their whole mission from the jump was to like talk down on Sophie and make her feel bad and uncomfortable. They sing happy birthday to Nicole, they're dancing, having a good time, and Sophie is talking to Julia kind of loud, and I was like, girl, why are you screaming? Do you not know everyone around you could possibly be hearing what you're saying? And she's just like bending to Julia about what happened with Pedro's mom and Nicole and how she's feeling frustrated. I'm just like, I get it, but could this not wait until you guys got back in the car? Or so now here comes Nicole, and she wants to talk to Sophie, and she tries to explain to her that she just really cares about Pedro. She's trying to protect him. And Sophie's like, no, you guys are just way too involved in Pedro's love life. It's weird. And that gets Nicole riled up. And now she's yelling, Sophie's yelling, and now they're cussing at each other. It's a whole big old scene. And that's where the episode ends. But in the next episode, the sneak peek we get, it looks like this altercation now causes Sophie and Pedro to have some sort of a spat. And now Sophie's like trying to get her distance from Pedro because he doesn't defend her. He takes his mom and Nicole's side, so it doesn't look too good for them. But we get over to Courtney and Colt. And for some reason, Colt has brought in his mom, Debbie, and now she's acting like she's Captain Save-A-Ho for Colt. And she is trying to be over here begging Courtney to give Colt a second chance. And I'm like, what is this? Like, why did you bring your mom, Colt? That's not going to help your case by any means. We get a update on Vanya, and I think his name was Tony, and one of Vanya's friends is grilling Tony. Of course, he gets all upset, doesn't like that, and I'm like, I don't know why all the men on this show get so upset when their girl's friend is over there grilling them and asking them questions. This should be customary. This should be something that you should expect anyway. Of course, they're going to want to make sure you're in it for the right reasons. And lastly, Kim is now going on the hunt to look for her daughter, which had me really excited. I hope we get some detail on that and she finds out some information on her. But that is going to wrap it up for this recap. Let me know how you felt in the comments down below, especially about Pedro, his mom, and Nicole and how they were acting with Sophie. But if you did like this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!